Hey guys, this is Charl from worshipguitarskills.com, back with another lesson, and in today's lesson I'm going to show you how you can easily memorize the entire fretboard using just 3 octave shapes. Now if you've seen our previous video, I showed you how you can use 3 simple chord shapes to basically play almost any modern worship guitar progression. If you haven't seen that video yet, make sure to go and check them out. But in short, we showed you how you can take these 3 shapes and play almost any modern worship guitar progression. So let's check out a 4-1-5-6. Or even a 1-4-6-5. Or even a 6-5-1-4 like the Corey Asbury song, The Father's House. Alright, so these are obviously simplified versions of some of those songs, but it shows you how powerful just those 3 chord shapes can be in order to play any progression for most modern worship guitar songs, because you've got 3 versions for a major chord and 3 for a minor chord. You can go and check out the previous video to learn all about that, and we'll link to it in the description below. But in order for you to get the most mileage out of those shapes, you need to know where to find the various root notes in order to move the shapes in the right places. So I've just played 3 very common modern worship progressions using those 3 simple chord shapes, but you need to know where to move them in order to find the relevant chords. And that all comes down to root notes. And in order to know your root notes, you need to know the notes on the fretboard. So let's say I'm asking you to play all of the F notes on the guitar. Ready, set, go. How long will that take you? You're welcome to pause the video now and see how long it'll take you. Now, let me show you how quickly I can play all of the Fs on the guitar just because I know this pretty powerful hack using 3 different octave shapes. It simply goes like this. Those were all the Fs right up until this area of the neck. Of course, it will repeat after that. I can also do it string for string. So that's pretty quick to find all of the Fs on the guitar, and I can do that with any of the 12 notes in the chromatic scale. Not because I've got any superhuman abilities, just because I've figured out these simple building blocks that basically unlocks the fretboard. And just like those 4-2 voicings, which is what we call them at the Worship Guitar Skills Academy, that I've shown you in the beginning of this video, 3 shapes allowing you to play any song. In the same way, you've got 3 shapes to learn all of the notes on the guitar. And that's what I'd love to spend the bulk of this lesson to show you how you can use those 3 octave shapes to find any note on the guitar. Now, before we get into the actual shapes, I just want to quickly talk about the chromatic scale. The chromatic scale is simply all 12 notes as you see them in music that then repeats octave after octave. Now, the 12 notes of the chromatic scale, if you start on the piano and you play middle C and you literally play each and every note after each other, including all the black and white notes, you are going to get the chromatic scale. And if I do that same chromatic scale on the guitar, it's going to sound like this. And that's an octave because after that high C, everything will repeat again. Now there's a very easy way to memorize the chromatic scale. If you look at the piano, you'll see that there's only 2 places where there are 2 white notes right next to each other, between B and C and between E and F. Now on the guitar, I have B and C and E and F. We don't have any black notes in between B and C and E and F. Now what does that mean? It simply means that I don't have B sharp or E sharp, because B sharp technically is a C and E sharp technically is an F. So that's what you got to remember. All of the other notes, as you can see, they have a black note in between them. So from C to C sharp to D. That simply means C sharp or D sharp or any note that I put a sharp after, it needs to go 1 fret higher. So I've got C sharp, D, D sharp, E, then I have F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, and then C. So that means you can now start on any of your open strings and just use that pattern to find all of the notes across the guitar neck. This is going to be important in order for you to get the most out of those octave shapes we're about to dive in within a few seconds. So if I start on E, what's my next note? It's F. Then F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, then C, C sharp, D, D sharp, and E. Then I go from E to E. And that is an octave shape. Or if I wanted to go from F to F, that's F to F, which is an octave. And on a piano, if you play one F to the next F, that is going to be an octave. Now we know on the guitar, it's not quite that economical in terms of your movement to play across the neck from F to F. So instead, we can go from F to F like this, which is the same as this. And then if I want to go from this F to a higher F, I can go like this. And if I want to go from this F to the lower F, I can go like that. So here are all the Fs again. Let's pause there for a second. Why did I show you how to learn all the notes on the E string using that chromatic scale? So that if I were to say to you, let's find G on the E string, then you'll go E, F, F sharp, G. Great, we found G. Now let's use those 3 octave shapes to find all the G's across the neck. So I played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 G's, just like that, using 3 octave shapes. I can do that for B flat as well. So let's find B flat on the E string. E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, which is, and then I have B, and A sharp and B flat is the same note. We call that an N harmonic in music theory, but in essence, I can go up from A or down from B to find this same note. That's a B flat. Now let's use the 3 octave shapes. And there we go, 8 versions of B flat. So hopefully by now you can see the power of these 3 octave shapes. So let me go ahead, now that you've got the context of why this is important and how it works, let me show you those actual shapes. Now I'm going to start on F over here. That's my first shape. The way you can memorize that is we are skipping a string and we are skipping a fret. So we skip 1 fret and we skip 1 string. And I can do that anywhere on the E string. And that's going to get me to an octave, which is the same as this. Alright, that's our first shape. Skip 1 string, skip 1 fret. Our second shape is this. Skip 1 string but 2 frets. So you can see I'm skipping the G string but I'm skipping 2 frets in between these 2 fretted notes. Alright, so I've got shape 1, skip 1 fret, skip 1 string. I've got shape 2, skip 2 frets, skip 1 string. And then shape 3, which is our third and final shape. I place my first finger on the high F, and then I'm going to skip 1 fret but 2 strings. You can see this looks like a C chord. That's my third shape. So shape 1, skip 1 fret, skip 1 string. Shape 2, skip 2 frets, skip 1 string. Shape 3, skip 1 fret but 2 strings. And guess what? It repeats. Shape 1, shape 2, shape 3. And then I'm back to that because shape 3 over here leads to shape 1. Again, shape 1, shape 2, shape 3, shape 1, shape 2, shape 3. You can end it on the F over there. That is how powerful these 3 shapes are. So in short, shape 1 can give me an octave starting anywhere on either the E string or the A string. Here's the E string. Shape 1. I can do the same shape on the A string. That will give me C, E flat, D, D flat, C. Alright, so shape 1, you can play anywhere on the E string or A string. Shape 2, here it is on F. Skip 2 frets, skip 1 string. I can also do that on the G string. So that means I've got shape 1 on strings 6 and 5, the E and A strings. Then I've got shape 2 on strings 4 and 3, the D and G strings. And then I've got shape 3 on either the B string or the E string. And there we go. Those are the 3 octave shapes. So the way you want to practice this is start with F. And that's how you learn all the Fs across the neck using the shortcut, and pay attention to where they are now. And then, instead of skipping the strings, you can now go string for string. F on the E string, F on the A string, F on the D string, G string, B string, E string. And there we go. Once you know your Fs, you choose another note you want to learn, which might be the G, the A, the B flat, whatever the case may be. You now know how to find any note on the E or A strings using the chromatic scale. Then you know how to find all the notes across the neck using the 3 shapes I've shown you. And the third and final step, don't use the shapes to show you where the notes are. You memorize them and then you go string for string. So there you go. That is another continuation of the unlocking the fretboard using simple shapes rather than complicated theory or complicated techniques or complicated chord shapes that you can't really use in your playing. So if you haven't seen the previous video yet about the 4/2 voicings, make sure you go and check that out. The link is in the description and you can go ahead and learn more about that. And if you guys like this no fluff approach to unlocking the fretboard and showing you how you can elevate your worship guitar skills with real techniques and things that you can use on a Sunday to elevate your worship guitar playing, then go and check out the links in the description to learn more about the Worship Guitar Skills Academy and how we can help you improve as a player when you go through these simple lessons, unlock the neck, and go ahead and improve your playing as a guitarist. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.